Well, hundreds of U.S. immigration agents arresting nearly 700 illegal workers at 7 food processing plants across Mississippi. It's the largest workplace raid in at least a decade. Authorities say agents fanned out across the plants surrounding the perimeters to prevent workers from fleeing. For more on this, I want to bring in Border Commerce and Security Council President Nelson Balido. Nelson, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Charles. Good to see you.
Well, of course, anytime you have a situation like that, there are going to be certain images that emerge. Someone could be running and falling, and there's going to be panic and fear, maybe even some children who get photographed. And the negative publicity has gone out. The heartless administration is being talked about in the mainstream media. So explain to the audience, perhaps, who don't understand why this is happening, why it's necessary.
Well, the optics are never good anytime this has happened, but people have to be held accountable. So when you don't show up, when you cross illegally into the United States and you don't show up for an immigration hearing, or you claim asylum or credible fear, one of those things, and then you seep into the fabric of America somewhere in the United States to get a job, those folks are working illegally, either with a fake Social Security number, a fake ID sometimes, and then you have obviously unscrupulous employers that obviously give these folks opportunities to work in these areas. So these people need to be held accountable, and people have to know when you come into the United States illegally, don't show up, don't follow the rules, sooner or later you're going to get caught and you're going to be held accountable.
Nelson, you're someone who understands immigration, border laws and securities, and commerce. What is it about this country, though, America? What are we doing wrong that Americans won't take on these jobs? In other words, what needs to be fixed in this country? Because I find it amazing that we could have 7.4 million job openings and yet have months where hundreds of thousands of people actually leave the labor force. It's a frustrating thing because it feels like we're creating a vacuum that's being filled by illegal workers.
Well, I do think we have a lot of entitlement programs in the United States that may have to be curled down or certainly tapered or reformed. In other words, if you're going to get a benefit from the United States for doing nothing, you should be doing something or give something back. The other thing that how you solve this is you also could expand the H-2B, H-2A programs for temporary workers, right? So there's ways to come here and work legally in the United States and certainly go back into their home countries. But that has to be looked at and reformed. And certainly, I think the Trump administration will certainly look at that. And it's something that Congress needs to look at. The question is, do we have the stamina in the United States Congress to even start addressing those issues? Right. Or do they still want to continue talking about the same old hack that we have today?
And let's be honest, you talked about these businesses at the top of this interview. It feels like they never pay a price for this, and they can't actually pay illegals to do the job cheaper than Americans. How come these American businesses never have to pay a price for that?
Well, so you have a system called E-Verify that was instituted in 1996 for the first time, and these businesses have the ability of using E-Verify. Some states adopt it more than others.
They're hiring illegals.
They're not. No,
right.
I agree.
What's the punishment? If I have a factory in a town where people need jobs, but I don't give them those jobs because I can save a few bucks, where's the punishment for that?
They have to hold these employers accountable. Absolutely. That's one of the issues and the crux that we have is we're not holding the folks that empower these illegal immigrants, these illegal folks that come here to work. We have to do something about that, and that what needs to be reformed first and foremost. If we don't give them the ticket to work, then they will seek somewhere else, or they won't come to the United States at all, or seek a legal way of doing it.
Nelson, always appreciate it. Thank you.